conducted by a student at NTNU. Do you know this one? 学长. Do you know him? Okay. I think he did a very good job. I think it was, what, 2021, I think. Okay, I just want to show you something here, right here. This is coding. Okay, because I want you to visualize what does it mean by coding. Because you are going to conduct interview, and then your interviewee is going to say blah, 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 lots of oral, okay, transcripts. But the point is, how are you going to put all the things together? These are the coding. This is what we mean by coding. Okay, so what is it in coding? How am I going to assign the coding? For example, the first one is about motivation for reserving, motivation in high school English teacher, for example. Motivation for becoming a high school English teacher. Okay, sorry because I enlarged it too huge, so it's not that clear. So after this researcher reading all the interview transcript, he knows that these couple of sentences is about this interviewee's motivation for becoming an English teacher. So the coding will be becoming an English teacher in high school. Okay. Oh, these 4 sentences is about the process of becoming a high school English teacher, and then you have this coding. So you read through it, and then you know, oh, this is about this, and you put a coding, you read through all the interview data, and you have all the codings. That's the very first level. You wouldn't be able to put the coding without reading it, I think, quite a few times. The first time will be the interview. You listen to it, and you take notes. Second time. And then you read it again to get some feelings about what exactly he's talking about. Oh, Hayes has been talking about this again and again and again. Okay, this is very important, so you jot it down. Okay, so these are the initial coding, and after you have that initial coding, you know, these 2 is about becoming a high school English teacher, and this 2 is about teaching experience, and this 2 is about this 2 is about this. So you kind of, okay, put the 2 together. And then once you have this 2, you know, oh, this is about this is about this. So a level. So this is about things aside. Organization, things aside. High level of thinking. That's why you are here. And this is something that ChatGPT wouldn't do for you. Even NVivo, whatever tools. No one. So if you don't want to be replaced by ChatGPT, you still want to have your place, your role in English teaching field. This is something. I was so surprised that 2 weeks ago, we invited graduates from our program. He is right now, I think, this should be the role, manager, or a professional manager in Huaqi Income, a bank here, okay, international corporate. And I was so surprised that he said that when he has to go to a lot of meetings, okay, and listen to all the managers talking ABCD, and he said that he made good use of this, what we have learned here. Yes, this is what we have been doing, right? Every day. You listen to ABCD, you know ABC is all about, oh, it's about this. And then you realize, this too is all about this. How do you know? Because you really listen to, observe, and you read through the literature. Okay. So then a level once again, and you put together this. So it's like first level, second, third. Trust yourself, you can do this if you can get along with your data. So that's why you need to conduct a study that you have great passion for it. Because then, you are so eager to listen to your participants when they share their ideas with you. Because that's the topic that you really want to know. You want to dig out somebody who hasn't said so. Sometimes when the interviewer says something like that, because I have never seen anything in the literatures mentioning about this point, and you know this is something quite unique that you can contribute to the literature. So you get very excited. Okay?
Could I have a question?
Sure.
Get instruction. Which way we conducted that? I mean, like from this way to establish the requirements from the requirements.
Okay, very good question. I can tell from your question that you are really thinking. Okay, good. Definitely, I think if you, that's why I said that, that's why last time, usually, when you are at this stage, think about a researcher. He must have read a lot to come to this stage. He must have finished literature review part. So in fact, he has all the ideas about what contribute to a teacher's professional identity construction. Okay, so he has some idea. He has some idea already. Okay, it is just that in different contexts, these might be a bit different. We might add one or two new ones that wouldn't be found, for example, in Vietnam or in Thailand or Indonesia. But definitely, as teachers, there are some similarities. That's why I keep saying, do not come to a research without conducting any literature review. And it's better to have some theoretical framework. Because if you have theoretical framework, you wouldn't read the transcription without any idea. That's, for novice researchers, it's a bit scary. Okay? However, if you have read some theoretical framework, you know that for professional identity, in this case, there are some factors that contribute to this construction. So you have some idea to start with. It's not like blank. You have some ideas already. So it's an interactive process. You let the data talk to you, yes, but you are not blank here. You already have some idea from literature. Okay, so it's an interactive process. However, you also allow space for your data to talk to you. So that you know, see, this is only happening in Taiwan. Hey, this is something I can contribute. When I write, I will say, this is particularly unique in this context. Okay? All right. So,
Professor,
hi.
I have another question.
Sure.
I want to know which part we call it patterns, which part we call it themes.
Say that again.
Which part in the structure we call it as patterns?
Patterns?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which part we call it themes?
Themes.
And
Patterns
which
and
part-
things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which part is category?
All right. Patterns, when we say patterns, you will be able to see, I think patterns, let's go back to things. I think things are easier to understand, right? Because for this case, you might say that these are the grand themes, bigger one, and under this, there are 4 major themes. Okay? Okay? Themes means that you have all these factors contribute to all these themes, major issue, major themes. In terms of patterns, is that you can observe when you, for example, when you talk to your interviewee, and then you can tell whenever he say A, he will definitely say B and C. That's the pattern. When you ask him, so why do your students are not interested in reading? Then they will start saying that, oh, because A, and then talking about B and C. You see there's a pattern there. Okay. Then you know that it's not only about A, it's all together, A, B, C. So there's a pattern. Okay. Once you have dig yourself into that data set, you know, okay, you know very clear that the teachers have this kind of pattern. You say, because when we say pattern means what? You can observe that happening. Whenever you see A, you know B and C is coming up. When the students do not, for example, when the students do not show up in class, what's another pattern that you can observe or predict? That this student probably is going to drop out. Or this student probably have difficulty understanding your class. And you can probably predict that this student probably is going to drop out. So that's the pattern. Okay? So you get to see the pattern. All right? And great researchers, particularly qualitative researchers. Okay, let me tell you, what is qualitative research about? I would say you are able to observe things and patterns that cannot be observed or have not been observed in other literature. Once you will be able to identify or see some of the things that have not been observed and reported, and then you can see the patterns that other researchers haven't been able to observe, and you have great contribution. All right. Okay, I want to stop here because I think it takes time for you to come up with this. And today, later on, when Professor Wang comes to introduce us the tool, I've been talking about this and saying this several times. The NVivo software will not teach you, after you read this several sentences of the interview, this is about motivation for becoming a high school teacher. Not yet. They will not tell you, this is about this. However, NVivo, once you have the coding, let's say you have the coding 27 times, okay, they say that throughout whole year, your participants, you have been doing the coding, and here is about becoming an English teacher. Becoming English teacher. NVivo will be able to tell you, 27 times that your interviewee has mentioned about becoming an English teacher. Quantifying all the codings. The tool will be able to help. So you don't have to count it by yourself. It saves you a lot of time. Okay? But the tool cannot help you think, or cannot help you interpret, or see the patterns yet. This is where we, as researchers, we need to interpret and be able to identify. Got it? Okay. So, because of the time, let me show you this. I want to show you a video clip to help you visualize, okay? The process a bit more. Elena, so where's that video?
I open it.
Oh. So, from this one? Oh. Okay, let me show you. Okay, I'm sorry that I wouldn't be able to give you time for the discussion. So I'll leave you to think about what are some of the possible questions. But if I say, go back home and then take a look at I don't think you have that time because you have too much pressure, right? So let's take some time here before Professor Wang comes in to introduce the tool. You got to have this idea first. Otherwise, the tool is tools. You are, you. Let's do this.
It is, whatever you think is relevant. And this basic step-by-step guide. Part 1, a description of each step. Step 1, reading the transcripts. Quickly browse through all the transcripts as a whole. Then make notes about your first impressions.
Next notes, okay. Jot
Reread
down.
the transcripts again, one by one, very carefully, line by line. Step 2, start labeling relevant pieces, such as words, phrases, sentences, or sections in the transcripts. And these labels can be about actions, they could be about activities, or whatever you think is relevant. And this process is called coding, or sometimes it's referred to as indexing. Here's an example of an interview transcript that has been coded. So how do I know what to code, you might wonder. Well, you might decide that something is relevant to code because it is repeated in several places, or perhaps it's something that surprises you, or it might be that the interview, him or herself, explicitly states that this is important, or you have read about something similar in previous published reports, for example in scientific articles, or it reminds you of a theory or a concept, or for some other reason that you think is relevant. You can use preconceived theories and concepts, or you can be more open-minded. You can aim for a description of things that are superficial, or you can code and aim for a conceptualization of underlying patterns. It's up to you. It's your study and your choice of methodology. You are the interpreter, and these phenomena are highlighted because you think they are important. Just make sure that you tell your reader about your methodology and the choices that you make. And you do